What's going on, guys? Crypto Jeremy here, back with another TAO video. This one's gonna be a quick one. Just look at the price action here real quick. Today, look, it retested that support. It actually broke below the modified shift pitchfork that I had drawn yesterday that had those three bounces. We are now below that. Interestingly enough, RSI on the daily, let's check it out real quick, is making lower lows, which is interesting on the daily here, which I guess makes sense considering our current price action. That being said, we still have that divergence happening here, guys. So don't panic, don't worry. This makes sense. TAO had a massive uptrend. It actually kind of front ran ETH and Bitcoin, which I think is pretty interesting for sure. But I think TAO, guys, I think the thing about TAO is that this thing, a lot of sell pressure from miners that, let's say they've been like, they know crypto, right? So Bitcoin, for example, nowadays, a lot of the miners in Bitcoin are selling instantly because they need to make that tiny profit margin. Back in the day, though, a lot of Bitcoin miners would hold. They would hold because speculatively, like, they don't need to sell. They were making much money from the selling anyways, or maybe they were. It depends on the hash rate back then. I mean, they were making more Bitcoin, but I don't know the actual Bitcoin block reward, hash rate to price action ratio, whatever. Point is, they were holding longer back in the day. Now these are big mining operations. To stay competitive, you have to do real big volume. Therefore, they have to sell. TAO currently is in a scenario where, like, they don't have to sell, but they're making a lot of money. Okay, miners are making a lot of money in TAO, especially some subnets. Some subnets, these guys are making thousands of dollars a day with minimal price, requirement of like overhead, purely just off of intelligence and just being able to make better models than other people and optimize better. And that's all that really matters. So I wouldn't look at price action too worrisomely. I personally think this thing will drop back down to 400, 300 eventually, because I don't, the market, the traditional market, the TradFi market is at all-time highs, and crypto is struggling. So we know that crypto is not going to do well if the stock market does badly. If the stock market trades sideways or does well, crypto can do well. Currently, the stock market is doing well, crypto is not doing too well. So I think TAO here, I think it's an accumulation phase. I think taking profits here in the short term is not a dumb idea, but keep in mind, I would recommend, not financial advice, but I would recommend only taking profits on the APY that you get from staking. I would never say to sell your bag. Like, if you're in it for the long term, that 20% that you're getting with some of these weight copying validators is enough to sell. Like, I saw this guy who's been in TAO over 2 years, and he's already sold in US dollars 10 times what he initially invested with, and that's without touching his initial amount of TAO. That's just from the rewards from staking. So keep that in mind. It's always an opportunity. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Keeping it quick. It looks like the MACD has found its downward trend, so that's a little bit more bearish, I would say. As you can see here, we usually have these periods of like maybe a few more days downward trend. Maybe C490, I don't know. I'm not a genie or anything. I don't know the future. But yeah, I'm surprised. I really thought this thing would push 700 like this week, but I guess it's, sell pressure from people taking profits. It makes sense. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'm still holding, obviously. I'm long term. I'm not letting my bag go below a certain level that I have. And yeah, staking for max rewards, selling those. I haven't sold. So in this entire up run, I actually did the fatal mistake. I don't know if it's a fatal mistake, but I actually bought more around 500. Around 500, I think it was actually on this retrace right here, or maybe it was right here. I bought at 500, but I haven't quite yet. For that amount I got to, I haven't sold any of the staking rewards. But since then, I've made like a good amount. Like, at this point with my bag, without doxing how much I have in my bag, I'm making like good money off the staking rewards. Like, not quite minimum wage, but like good money on the staking rewards for sure. So yeah, it's lit. I mean, yeah, what is there else to say? I'm excited to see what happens. I'm holding this for the long term. It's my biggest crypto bag, believe it or not. Nowadays I'm not really that invested in crypto. I think my total net worth I'm looking somewhere for crypto. Let me do the calculations real quick in my head. Crypto, I have under 30%, like maybe 20 something percent of my net worth is in crypto, which is very low for me. I was at points in my life where 95% of my net worth was in crypto, especially during the NFT bull run when so much money was locked up in NFTs. Now I'm like below 30%. I don't necessarily want to increase that. I want to like more. I only have TAO. I have Bittensor, which I've talked about. It's a meme coin. And then I have, that's pretty much it for crypto. I'm not really holding any other coins. I'm always trading Pepe on leverage. But other than that, I think high concentration bets. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to go for that growth. I'm not like at the beginning, right? When I started off in crypto, financially, I was looking for that like 10x, 100x, and I got one, and then I divested that into other investments, and I divested a lot into the stock market. So of my net worth, I just talked about 100%. Of that 100%, more than like 60 is in the stock market. So it's pretty much like 60 to 70 stock market. 20 to 30 crypto, and then like 5 to 10 just like cash. But realistically, there's still in brokerages anyways. So it's just like not invested, but it will be when there's dips. So yeah, that's very interesting portfolio setup for me at least. It's not something I'm like necessarily used to, but of that, let me do some math about my TAO bag. My TAO bag, let me see. A little more than 1/6. So that'd be like 15 to like 20% of my net worth is in TAO. So it's pretty high. It's pretty high for sure. So I'm incentivized to keep an eye on this. I was looking into actually starting to mine a little bit, but I'm not that tech savvy. Like I can code, but I'm not a guy who's running Linux, as my main, computer. Operating system, but I was looking into it. We'll see, maybe. I mean, it's a very competitive market now. Back in the day would have been the time to do it. Now I don't think I have that much of an edge. But it's something definitely like a weekend project to look into and see if it's like reasonable for me to dedicate time learning it. But we'll see. From my understanding, there are some subnets you can mine on that don't require machine learning knowledge and are a little more simple. That being said, the competitiveness and difficulty is obviously going to be positively correlated to the rewards. So if you want to be making, like for example, if you look at TAO stats, and let's actually look, I'm actually curious here. Let's look at like the validator, actually where the subnets, which is one, I know Sturdy probably has some good incentives. So look at this, this is so interesting. This new tech man, like these people like here, right? These incentives, like this new tech. So these are all new miners, all from the same person. You see how that cold key has like all of these. I'm actually curious here. I don't know this that well, but let's see Metagraph. What are this guy's incentives? He's getting 4 TAO a day on how many accounts? It was like 5 accounts. This guy's making like 20 TAO a day from this. Actually insane. I don't know exactly what this is. I don't know much about this subnet specifically, but like these guys are printing. That's what, like 10K a day, like over 3 mil a year. I mean, obviously stuff readjusts, but like it's a big market. And I think that's why Grayscale is pushing it so hard, because they have Foundry, right? Grayscale is a so DCG, Digital Capital Group, I believe it's called, or something capital group, whatever it is, they own Foundry and Grayscale. And so the incentive for Grayscale to get this adoption, right, to push for like, TAO's trust and then eventually an ETF with Bittensor and TAO, is that they own, I was looking at some numbers, and my guess is about $300 million, give or take, of TAO. So they own about 10%, give or take, maybe a little less, but like at least 3% to 3 to 10% of the entire supply. And they're still making a lot of money with mining. So that's something to keep in mind, okay? When they push that, they're so, bullish on that. That being said, I don't think they're the type of people to dump until there is an ETF and there is that liquidity available. Because you can, I guess you could sell nowadays. If you could sell, what's the volume on TAO? Let's see. I don't know what the implied volatility of that volume. So like, if you were to sell 1 million a day, actually, you know what? There's enough liquidity in the market now for them to offload $300 million if they want to. There's no doubt about that. There's definitely enough liquidity in the market. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Keep in mind, you know, like I've been seeing these things where it's like everyone's talking about how Grayscale increased the weight of, you know, the weight of TAO, the amount of TAO in their trust. Obviously, but if you look at the numbers, their decentralized AI trust is just over $1 million of AUM, but their TAO trust is like 3 to 4 million or whatever it was last time I checked. I think it was like 4 something. So it doesn't really matter because more people are just trying to get that isolated TAO investment anyways. And it's honestly insane how people are willing to pay that 2.5% yearly management fee just to own TAO when you can literally buy it very readily availably on many big time crypto exchanges. So yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate the support. If you enjoyed the video, if you're still watching now, comment down below that you're still watching. I appreciate it. And yeah, smash the like button. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. And until as usual, peace.